I'm getting tired of talking about golf clubs because I feel like we've been talking about golf clubs since August.
The hot list isn't a some of the time thing. It's a
all the time thing.
There you go.
Okay. But I'll tell you what we work the hardest on at the Hot List Summit every year is wedges. We hit more balls with wedges than we hit with any other club because our players in our evaluations, they're looking at pitch shots, they're hitting chip shots, they're hitting bunker shots, and they're making full swings. And that's the only way, because wedges, most versatile clubs in the bag.
Well, not only the most versatile club in the bag, but probably the most used club in the bag for most everyday player. I mean, you know, you're what, 14 handicap, you at 4 or 5 greens around? That means you've got 13, 14 greens around where you've got a wedge of some sort in your hands, and it might be from 80 yards, it might be from 40 yards, it might be from 20 yards, and that's why you need to know not only that you can't just, you know, the guy who's got a P and an S on the bottom of his wedges and that's it, I mean, he's doing himself a disservice because you need more tools than that, and more importantly, you need to know exactly what those tools are going to do.
Well, and you talk about tools, I think the manufacturers, you know, we all remember 6 years ago when the groove rule went into effect, and we talked about how the USGA rolled back the performance of your wedges for less spin, particularly from shots from the rough. And manufacturers had to adapt and figure out, I think, like we've seen with almost every rule change, it doesn't limit manufacturers, it almost inspires them. And that's what we've seen in the last few years with wedge design, a whole new way of thinking about this section of your bag.
The grooves today are every bit as good as the U grooves, maybe even better, because I think they allow actually as much spin, but with more control.
Yeah, I mean, let's not badmouth it. I mean, the groove rule has clearly had an effect in performance out of the rough. You know, whether it's a full swing or a shorter swing, your groove performance is probably not going to be as good out of the rough, apples to apples, but I do think what they've done is make it more possible for you to get pure contact with your wedge, and that's where you're going to generate the most spin.